And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to Arizona Speedway as we're getting set for race number 8 of the NR2003 Diva Cup Series. Of course, this is our only race we have this race weekend, which is the Diva Cup Series, because Diva Trucks and Diva Bush are taking an off week this weekend, so it's just the Diva Cup Series drivers ready to start off the Arizona fun as we're getting set for the Del Taco 400. Brooklyn Carter starts on the pole for the first time this season. Brooklyn Carter comes into tonight's race. That's Maddie Crenshaw. I'm trying to find Brooklyn Carter. She's probably so far, unless I went past her. I think I did go past her a little bit. Alongside of her is Gwen Tennyson, who comes in this race 11th in the point standings. Monica Towns took a big hit after a disappointing result, 17th in the standings. And Lauren Grubias, who's been moving her way through the points table in the last couple of weeks. Grubias comes into this race. If I can find... If I can find Lauren Grubias here in the point standings, we'll show you the rest of the grid while I'm showing you trying to find the points. Grubias is 27th in the point standings. And then Brooklyn Carter, who I'm trying to find her in points. Let me see. Let me look at the statistics here. She is 5th in the point standings, Brooklyn Carter. So, yeah. There we go. I'm getting old. But anyway, let's get these cars rolling off. Get set for tonight's race. Ellen Benson continues kept the points lead after last week at Richmond. She is the points leader by 42 points over Becky Walters. Prudence Martindale, 107 points back, is third in the standings. Courtney Lynn still fourth in the standings, 127 back. Brooklyn Carter still jumped up to fifth in the standings, 137 back. 162 back is Jill Thomas after a poor result at Richmond, who is sixth. Amber Whitecastle is seventh, jumped up 6 spots to the top 10 of the points. Ginger Foutley dropped 4 spots down to 8th in the standings. 2 spots lost for Brittany White, who's down to 9th. And Sydney Vortex completed the top 10. 41 laps here tonight at Arizona. This is a track identical to Kansas Speedway, as well as like Kansas and I think Vegas. This is kind of like this track is similar. More kindly a retrospective Kansas here in this event. But getting ready for tonight's race, the Del Taco 400, race number 8 of the Diva Cup Series is green. Let's go racing at Arizona, boys and girls. Brooklyn Carter off to a very good start. One of 4 gals from Indiana Motorsports, the other being Maddie Crenshaw, Monica Towns, and I believe Ginger Foutley. I could be wrong. I think so. Monica Towns currently in second, trying to bounce back after a poor race last week at Richmond. That poor result, as I said, dropped her down to 17th in the standings. As they're nearing 3 wide, and around they go. The 23 and the 99, that's Bouvier. I was trying to get to Bouvier, and Bouvier is wrecked, and the caution is out. Scarlett Wallace is involved, so we've had only just 2 cars in this. Lauren Ekstrom is involved. I didn't realize she had a problem. As Brooklyn Carter will lead us to our first caution of the evening here at Arizona Speedway. Scarlett Wallace looks like her day is going to be done. I don't think there's any issues with Lauren Ekstrom, and she's out of the race. She's had a mechanical problem or something because she's been scored, but something was wrong with Lauren Ekstrom. And Ekstrom's night is done before she even completes one lap. Amos race 30th in the point standings. This was not what Lauren Ekstrom needed. Caution's out for the first time today. Let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened in turn number one. And this is what happened here as they come into turn number one. 3 wide between, that's the 18 of Molly Thomas, Bouvier, and Scarlett Wallace. They were 3 wide. And it looks like the 18 car got a bit tight, moved up into the 99, and nowhere for the Stacker 2 Dodge to go. And both cars hit hard in the outside retaining wall. Remember, this is not they don't have a safer barrier, but somebody else clipped the 23 a little bit. I think that was the 45 of Mia Watts. Yes, it was. But everybody did a good job scattering to avoid the 99-23. Bouvier came into this race 19th in the points. Her night's going to be done. And Scarlett Wallace, on the other hand, comes into this race. Scarlett Wallace, if I can find her in the points, dropped 10 spots to 34th in the points. This was not what Scarlett Wallace needed, and she's going to drop even further down the points table after this race. And tough break for those two ladies. They are no doubt going to be done for the night. So that's what brought out the first caution of the race. Let's jump back to the restart here at Arizona. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing, and Brooklyn Carter has had troubles. Looks like a mechanical problem or something. She dipped her car on the apron, so that's a tough break for her. Now we'll turn the race lead over to Monica Towns, who will lead us back to the green. Second, Molly Thomas. Becky Walters, second in points, is third. Fourth is Carla Sanat. Fifth, Annie Crenshaw. Sixth, Gwen Tennyson. Courtney Lynn. Seventh, Elena Aurora in the new colors for the Singular Wilder Chevrolet is eighth. Ninth will be Jillian Black, and Grubius will be 10th. As I don't know what is wrong with the 25 of Brooklyn Carter. Hope it's not terminal as far as that is concerned. Out of the race after that incident, Scarlett Wallace and Josephine Bouvier, due to that first incident of the evening. And we are not entirely sure what was wrong with Lauren Ekstrom's car. Looked like either a battery or an ignition let go on the 12 on the grid. And she never took the start, but the game credited her with 40 seconds. But unfortunately, they couldn't get the problem fixed, and it looks like it proved to be terminal. So that's a tough break for Lauren Ekstrom. And Ekstrom, who really did not need this, she's going to be way down the points table leaving tonight's race. Green flag back in the air here at Arizona. Becky Walters currently in third place. She was, by the way, second in points. The gal she was trying to run down for the points lead, Ellen Benson, is in 22nd when we took the restart. That was your points leader, by the way. And we're also being told Chrissy House has taken her car back behind the wall. Looks like an engine failure. A header has let go. So that's two of the five Roush Racing cars now out of this race. That's a tough break for Chrissy House. Chrissy House came into this race 40th in the points. This is not what Chrissy House wanted. Looks like Brooklyn Carter is going to continue on, but she's going to be one lap down as a result. So she lost a lap doing so. As we We don't even know what was wrong with the 25. I don't know if it was a tire that went down or a mechanical failure, but that is a tough break for Chrissy, or for our pole sitter, Brooklyn Carter. I noticed looking at the points here, I'm seeing a number of drivers running well in points, like Jill Thomas back here at the rear of the field. Sydney Vortex came as race 10th in the point standings. This is not what Sydney Vortex needed. Last week's winner back there in 32nd. That's Chloe Carmichael. And Courtney Lynn's about to take the lead from the 18 of Molly Thomas. Courtney Lynn came as race 4th in the points. She's another gal that's trying to run down Ellen Benson for the points lead. Courtney Lynn driving the Kodak Pontiac for Morgan McClure Racing. Hannah Blue Jays up there in the 9th position on lap 13. Let me also point this out. Brooklyn Carter was running well in points, so she's going to take a massive hit in the points if she doesn't get something going. Let's find Jill Thomas here. There she is right there. Just struggling at the rear of the field. They have gotten around Brooklyn Carter. Maddie Crenshaw, hello. Pay attention. There's a car on the outside of you there, sweetheart. Mackenzie Thompson right behind her teammate Amber Whitecastle. Jesse Art running a new paint scheme. The new paint scheme on her BAM Racing Dodge. It just says BAM Racing. Crystal Fontaine right behind Monica Towns. There's the points leader, Ellen Benson, right behind Lauren Grubius. Annie Crenshaw in the Blue Deuce. Right behind Matilda Cobb, our winner from Louisiana a couple of weeks ago. Back up front with Courtney Lynn leading this race. Next week, we're going to have the Diva Truck Series drivers return. They will be at South Boston, and the Diva Cup Series drivers will be heading to the Tricky Triangle of Pocono Raceway as we're going racing under the lights. Yes, you heard me say that sentence, under the lights. It's not going to be a late start, unlike this race, which we started at a little after 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Courtney Lynn, former winner this season, also has a pole this season. Courtney Lynn will be in the All-Star race, by the way. You'll see that in a few weeks' time. Courtney Lynn currently still the race leader right now. Gwen Tennyson is running in the 2nd position. When Tennyson comes into this race, Let me find her in points. We're, by the way, past the halfway point of tonight's race. I probably went past her. Gwen Tennyson came as race 11th in the points, and with a lot of drivers ahead of her in points that are really struggling, like Ginger Foutley, Brittany White. Let's see actually where those two ladies are. Brittany White's running in 14th. Sydney Vortex is running 25th. Brooklyn Carter has gone another lap down, so she's now 2 laps down as a result. This could possibly put her in the top 10 of the points, Gwen Tennyson. Lena Aurora currently in 3rd. Aurora had a terrible race last week at Richmond, fell all the way outside the top 10 to 14th in the point standings. RCR is still looking for their first win of the season. Grubius has not been to victory lane, which I'm going to actually double check that to make sure I'm correct. Steiner's not been to victory lane. Grubius is not victory lane. Yeah, RCR has yet to go to victory lane this season. Becky Walters came as race 2nd in points. There's Hannah Blue Jay running in the 5th position, the Canadian driver. Hannah Blue Jay comes in as race 31st on the points. This is another good run for Hannah Blue Jay, as she's had a struggling start to the year. Running in 5th. Molly Thomas is in 6th. Molly is 24th in the point standings, the only JGR driver who's yet to go to victory lane. 7th is under contest with Carla Sinai, who's battling with Mary Morse, who's 8th. 9th is Jillian Black, and Matilda Cobb is 10th. And the honorable mention of Annie Crenshaw is 11th place. Annie Crenshaw is racing with her sister, by the way, Maddie Crenshaw. I talked about, Maddie Crenshaw, who's part of Indiana Motorsports. Annie Crenshaw is under the affiliation of Cody Smart's team. Annie Crenshaw has only had a 21st place finish as an average finish in the first 7 races. 21.4, where she is tied with Jessie Art for the average finish, but she's only 9 points back of Jessie Art because of the fact, Annie Crenshaw's had a lower average start versus Jessie, who has a 21.4 for Annie Crenshaw. Right now, Amber Whitecastle is now in 10th. Annie Crenshaw, as I said, running in 11th. Jillian Black was in the top 10, fell out of the top 10. She's battling side by side with points leader Ellen Benson, who's losing a couple of spots and nearly got turned by Mackenzie Thompson there, as those two made a little bit of contact. Battle for 3rd is going to be Becky Walters going by Elena Aurora. But nobody has even caught the Kodak Pontiac of Courtney Lynn. Courtney Lynn has not been to victory lane in the... Courtney Lynn, I can tell you this, the last 2 seasons in Monster, since the Monster Energy Series is not coming back, which, in case everybody does not know the announcement, the WRA is going to take care of the Monster Energy Series drivers, which means Courtney Lynn is one of those drivers. and they will be racing in the WRA K&N All-American Series for next season. Which, by the way, their first season will actually be in 2025 instead of 2024. They want to use 2024 to get everything all set up before we start racing in 2025. So that kind of makes sense. So those drivers definitely looking forward to that. Of course, Lauren Ekstrom is going to be getting a brand new, probably a brand new paint scheme, a new BMW. Probably with her own sponsorship and all that, yada, yada, yada. Of course, remember, Lauren Ekstrom is the team owner for Australian Motorsports. Courtney Lynn, former winner this season, trying to become our first repeat winner of the season. Of course, Courtney Lynn had a terrible off season ever since the Monster Energy season ended. In fact, her and Brenda Eveling both had rough off seasons. Courtney Lynn and Brenda Eveling got traded from Nathan Orman Motorsports. Or actually, no, they got released from Nathan Orman Motorsports due to not getting a win in the last two seasons. And Courtney Lynn and Brenda Eveling are now with World NOS Racing under the ownership of yours truly. As we're going to be coming to 5 laps of racing to go next time by. And so far, Courtney Lynn, since getting signed to World NOS Racing via free agency, so far she has delivered on her promise, wanted a new home. Same with Brenda Eveling. Of course, those two are going to be closer to each other. Sorry about that little lag there on my game there. And if Courtney Lynn's ever going to win a championship on this channel, it could happen this season here in the Diva Series. We'll just have to wait and see. Of course, like I said, next week after Pocono, we'll be a fourth of the way through the Diva season in the Diva Cup Series. Courtney's sister, Abigail, is a former winner in the Truck Series who won at Darlington. And you will see Abigail Lynn and as well as the other 41 ladies. Of course, Brenda Eveling's sister Hazel's in that series. And of course, you will see those girls as well as the other 40 drivers in the Diva Truck Series next week at South Boston. And ever since Courtney Lynn took the lead on that, after we went back to green, she has not given it back ever since. She's already pulled to a 3-second lead on Gwen Tennyson. And I think the main reason why Courtney Lynn got released from Nathan Orman Motorsports as well as Brenda Eveling is because the whole drama that happened after the checker flag waved at Toronto last year, which I don't want to get into details of that, but you know, and Courtney's mom, Amber McMillan, who adopted Courtney Lynn and Brenda Eveling, believe it or not, wanted to be a part of World NOS Racing because of the fact that they have a good partnership, as the white flag is out for Courtney Lynn, by the way. Wanted to have a good partnership, with yours truly and Luke Knight and all those other gals that were concerned about the outburst we had with Nam after the checker flag waved at Toronto. But ever since then, ever since joining World NOS Racing, Courtney Lynn has been impressive. And off turn number 4, second win of her Diva Cup Series career, Courtney Lynn will take the Del Taco 400. And she was 4th in the points coming into this race. No doubt she'll stay in the top 10 of the points after tonight's race. Now you know why World NOS Racing took a gamble on Courtney Lynn. She's now won 2 races this season. She's our first repeat winner here in the Diva Cup Series. Here's a funny stat. She has more wins in Indiana Motorsports this season. That's even impressive, which Cody Smart's probably laughing right about now. But nevertheless, Courtney Lynn, 4th in the points, no doubt going to stay in the top 10 of the points. Great run for Gwen Tennyson. Couldn't catch Courtney Lynn, but a second place for her came this race, 11th in the point standings. This will definitely put her inside the top 10 of the points after tonight's race. Becky Walters will stay in the top 10 of the points with a 3rd place result. She's had 5 top 5s and 6 top 10s this season. Not too bad. Elena Aurora, well-needed bounce back after a tough race at Richmond last week. A 4th place result for her. Molly Thomas, well-needed run for Molly after she had a rough couple of weeks, starting to get back together. 24th in the points will definitely move her way in the top 20 in the standings after tonight's race. Mackenzie Thompson is going to get a 6th place result. She came this race 37th in the points. Talk about a driver who really needed a good run. Ditto for Jillian Black, who finishes 7th. Great run from her. 41st in the points. Definitely needed a good run. Mary Morris, 38th in the standings, needed a good run. She gets an 8th place result. So a couple of drivers who are way down the points table, like Thompson, Black, and Morris. This is well-needed runs for those ladies. Hannah Blue Jay slowly but surely working her way through the points table, gets a solid 9th place result. And Matilda Cobb, our winner from Louisiana a couple of weeks ago, gets a 10th place result. Came this race 18th in the points. She will definitely move her way through the points table. Amber Whitecastle, points leader Ellen Benson, Maria Steiner, Annie Crenshaw, and Prudence Martindale will complete the top 15. Lauren Grubius, Brenda Eveling, quiet run for Brenda Eveling. Jesse Art, Ginger Fowley, and Lisa Simpson, your top 20. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, a lot of drivers who came in running well in points are really going to take a hit. Jill Thomas, 29th, came in this race 6th in points. Boy, she's been free falling through the points tables the last couple of weeks. Brooklyn Carter, who came in running well in points, 38th after we weren't too sure what was wrong with her car, but she fell a lap down and never recovered, ended up 38th, but she did finish the race. 37 cars finished the race on the lead lap, with Crystal Fontaine being the last of them. And that's not a good run for Crystal Fontaine. Came in this race 36 in the points. That was not what she needed. 4 drivers finished out of the race. Chrissy House, due to an engine failure, 40th in the standings. This has not been a good run for her. Scarlett Wallace, Josephine Bouvier, due to being our only caution of the evening. And Lauren Ekstrom never took the start as she had mechanical problems that took her out of the race before her race even began. So that's a bit disappointment for the Australian. But I don't think the points are going to be too much shaken up. Aside from some drivers will fall outside the top 10 of the points, some drivers will move into the top 10 of the points after this evening's race. But that is going to do it from Arizona Speedway, everybody. Courtney Lynn, a 2-time winner this season here at Arizona. If you guys enjoyed tonight's race from Arizona, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS Ray crew today. We showed your full finish results. You'll see your point standings in the Discord heading into next week's race at the fun track of Pocono Raceway. We have South Boston for the Diva Truck Series. Diva Bush will be off again next week. And then we'll have Diva Cup Series racing coming your way from the tricky triangle of Pocono under the lights. Hope you will tune in for that. We'll see you guys next time at Pocono and South Boston. Until then, I'm Divas signing off. Good night from Arizona Speedways. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of PCS Ray TV.